Welcome to tonight's call. We had a little bit of technical difficulty to get this started, but hey, there are 319 people here, 321 people here just on the live Zoom. We're glad that you're here. Many more, thousands more watching on the restreams on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for being here. We're so glad that you're here. And every week we do these calls all about metabolic health. If you are here because you want to improve your metabolic health, you're in the right place. And today, I have three incredible guests. I'm going to bring them up kind of Brady Bunch style here. This is Yvette Oxford, who will be coming on the call a little bit later. She is a nurse and diabetes educator and a social media superstar with hundreds of thousands of followers all over the world. Yvette has been teaching people about blood sugar, about weight control, about insulin resistance, and has been doing it the non-pharmacological way, the natural way. This is also Eva Cavillo. Eva was a total stranger to me, but we have recently met, and wait until you hear about her experience on the protocol. Incredible experience. And Alexis Hawley is also a guest. Alexis is in Hawaii right now. Alexis has an amazing story. So I'm really excited to bring all these ladies on. You'll hear from them shortly. In fact, I'll let you guys get off the spotlight for a second so that I don't. There we go. All right. So we're going to get started. And let me start by just introducing myself briefly. I'm going to share my screen and tell a little story about how these calls got started, why we do these calls, and what it means for you. What does this call every week that we do mean for you, all the great people that are on this call? In fact, if you're new on this call, if this is your first time ever joining us, will you put a new in the chat? I want to see if there are some new people here. Put a new in the chat if this is your first time. Okay, new. Okay, we got some new people here. Maybe several new people here. Lots of people on the restream are new. Welcome all you new people. Think about this though. There are at least a couple hundred people here that are not new. Why are they? Why are they coming back to this call? Why do they come to these calls every week, right? So, little story. This is a picture of me and my dad. And my dad was my hero. 8 years ago, this wonderful man died from stage 4 colon cancer. And when my dad got sick, it was like my world was collapsing. I love my dad. And when he got sick, I tried to study and read everything that I could to maybe save my dying father. And when I read into the newest, the latest, greatest science, I was very discouraged because everything that had been recommended to my dad seemed very outdated. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about my dad, and I want you, as I go through this, as I explain to you where my dad was at prior to getting sick, I want you to ask yourself, is this me? Like, is this you? Am I talking about you, or am I talking about your dad? Okay. So here are a couple of the things that my dad struggled with and some things that he didn't struggle with, but maybe you should be aware of. You see, my dad had a problem known as insulin resistance. Now, he was not particularly familiar with that term. Most people are not. But there are some real big indicators of insulin resistance. Some people talk about the skin tags around your neck as being one of the serious signs of insulin resistance. And it is. That is a very advanced stage of insulin resistance. Also, this darker pigmentation around the folds of skin. My dad actually did not have either of these problems. They weren't too noticeable on my dad. But both of these are indications of very serious insulin resistance. Now, what my dad particularly struggled with is this protruding belly or this belly fat. Okay. Now, this protruding belly is characterized by visceral fat. Visceral fat is different than the fat on your love handles. Okay. We all have some fat. It is healthy to have some fat. Everybody has some. Even bodybuilders have a little bit of fat, right? But this subcutaneous fat, this is not healthy. This is not normal. This is the dangerous fat. This is the number one risk factor for insulin resistance. And even if somebody has a small belly, that protruding belly is a problem. Now, here is where I really want to talk about my dad. My dad struggled with constant cravings for sugary, salty food. My dad struggled to lose weight and keep it off. My dad was always up for a snack or a meal or just kind of like to have something to chew on. Okay. My dad also struggled with high cholesterol, high blood pressure. He had a very serious skin problem known as psoriasis. Some people have acne, other people have the skin tags we talked about. For women, women struggle with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and polycystic ovarian syndrome is a very, very big problem when it comes to having kids. It's the number one cause of infertility. The number one driver of PCOS is insulin resistance. Uh, a lot of times when women have PCOS, they'll get facial hair, they'll get that darker pigmentation, they'll get skin problems, brain fog, anxiety, depression. These are all signs and symptoms of this problem known as insulin resistance. Now, if you or somebody in your household has one or more of these symptoms, maybe put me in the chat, right? And let me tell you, I have had one or more of these symptoms many times throughout my life. And we all do. There is a problem, and it is a very, very big problem. In the United States, we have about 100 million now adults that are insulin resistant. They're pre-diabetic and they're dealing with these symptoms. And on these calls, we want to teach you how to take care of the root cause, this insulin resistance. And when you kill the root of the tree, you often kill the tree or the symptoms, right? How would you like to get rid of these undesirable symptoms? So we're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to talk about why we're all getting sick and what to do about it. But to begin this call, I want to bring in our first guest. And our first guest is Eva Calvillo. And excuse me, my Spanish is not good, Eva, so I may be pronouncing your name incorrectly. But Eva, I'm so excited about the experience you've had since you started coming to these calls and starting this protocol, which I know that there are many new people. We'll explain the protocol in just a second. But Eva, maybe just tell us a little bit about your story. What has happened to you?
Hello, my name is Eva. I am 47 years old and I'm a proud mom of 4 teenagers and I'm a social worker. And as I've been helping people, I'm dealing with my own struggle, right? And in December of 2024, I was told that I was pre-diabetic because I was at my highest weight and it was 235 pounds. And so the diagnosis came. You are pre-diabetic. If you don't do something, you will be diabetic, and I have to give you a medicine next year. So that was the wake-up call, and I need to do something different. And of course, I was told I need to exercise and eat better. So that was my goal in January, and I couldn't do it. My goal was to exercise 10 minutes every day and to go back to intermittent fasting because I did that before. But I couldn't go back to it, and I couldn't keep up the exercise, even though it was 10 minutes. I was always tired and always eating. So luckily for me, March 15, my friend Derek said, hey, I've been taking these drinks, and it's helping me with this, and it's helping people with reversing pre-diabetics and kidney function. And I'm like, okay, I need to try this. And so on Friday morning, I learned about it. Friday evening, I had the product, and Saturday, I started drinking it. And 7 months later, I'm at 171, 64 pounds lighter. And that's just like very visible change. But I feel amazing. I feel unstoppable. I feel I can do whatever I put my mind to it. I really gain a lot of self-confidence, and I believe in myself, and I'm living the best life of my life. and I'm 47, and I'm like, I feel 27. So I'm on top of the world right now,
I love
loving
it.
how I feel.
I love it. Thank you, Eva. Eva sent me a photo and gave me permission to share this photo. And so I just wanted to share this photo. And it is so awesome, Eva. It is so awesome to see this transformation. I mean, everybody's always excited about losing weight. I always was really excited when I would lose weight and keep it off. But one of the things I noticed about this photo of you is you look so much younger, just like visibly younger. And so we are so happy for you. Congratulations. I cannot wait till you get your updated lab work. I think it's going to be incredible. You said you're down a total of 64 pounds now?
Yeah, 64 pounds.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much, Eva, for sharing your story. We're really grateful for that, and great job on the protocol. Excited to meet you like this and to hear your story.
Yep. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Eva. All right. So that is what this protocol is all about. And we have another story. We'll bring in Alexis here in a moment. Her story is incredible. Her pictures, when I saw her pictures, I called her. I was like, I want to talk about this, right? So first, there are a lot of new people here. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that you understand exactly what we are doing. We are all, I mean, when I say all of us, most of us on this call are following a very simple protocol where we take a little bit, it's just really two things, okay? Uh, I think when I stopped my screen share, let me see if I can pick up where I was. There are really just two things that we're focused on. We are not counting calories. We are not on an extreme exercise plan or some kind of an elimination diet or anything like that. Okay. We are focused on a little bit of fasting, so taking short breaks from food, and we're focused on a little bit of fiber. So a little bit of fasting, a little bit of fiber. Now, listen to what Eva just said. How many pounds did Eva lose in the last 6, 7 months? 64 pounds as a pre-diabetic. Looks younger, her clothes aren't fitting her. What if I told you that you could get results like that, or results like you're about to hear from Alexis, just by adding a little bit of fasting and a little bit of fiber? Would you be willing to give that a try? Would that be simple enough, right? So, the reason why so many of us are becoming insulin resistant, like my dad, becoming sick, becoming pre diabetic, like Ava was, is because they are taking all the fiber out of food. They take wild rice, they remove the bran. The bran is very edible, it's very healthy, and they feed us just the white part, right? They do the same thing with wheat. They remove all the fiber, and when you remove the fiber and you create these processed products, you actually take out a very critical component of the diet. This apple is basically sugar and water, and this sugar and water has been packaged in this fiber packaging. All right. And if you take off the fiber packaging, you're just left with the sugar water. And in the modern diet, actually, the entire modern diet, sadly, is becoming sugar water. This is sugar water. This is sugar water. There's very little nutritional value. It's a carbohydrate that causes blood sugar to spike to the moon, insulin to spike through the moon, and we're all getting sick. You cannot take the fiber away. Okay. Even sugar itself in nature, when God made sugar, he packaged it in fiber. And when we remove the fiber, we get sick. Now, this is not rocket science. This is not conspiracy. You can look this up. We know this, but food makers are removing it. Okay. And we can get into the weeds on why, but let me just tell you the facts. The facts are fiber is the part of the plant that controls your blood sugar. Fiber is the part of the plant that protects your heart. Fiber is the part that gives you good gut health. And fiber is the part that keeps you feeling full and helps with weight management. And so if you just look at the last 50 years or so, even though our medication is better than ever, our hospitals are better than ever, our technology is better than ever, our doctors are more educated than ever, we are sicker than ever. Okay. 1/3, more than 1/3 are pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, right? Heart disease, the number one killer in the world, right? Irritable bowel syndrome, 1 out of 5. And when you have irritable bowel syndrome, you end up with mental health problems like anxiety and depression. And if you are not overweight, you are in the minority. So, what is going on here? And what we're basically doing is we're saying, let's bring the right types of fiber back. And when you do this, it's amazing what happens to the body, as you just saw with Eva. Okay. Now, the other thing we're doing is we're taking short breaks from food. Instead of bathing our bodies in sugar and insulin, we want to eliminate some of these excess meals that are not necessary, and certainly the ones that are processed and have no fiber, so that our blood sugar and our insulin can normalize. When insulin remains high day after day, we become insulin resistant. And so by just doing a little bit of fiber and a little bit of fasting, we are solving this problem. Okay. Now we have a protocol that makes fiber and fasting very, very easy. Okay. Now this is beyond just, drinking water and gritting and bearing it. This is something that makes fiber and fasting extremely easy. Okay. So we are interested in addressing this problem of insulin resistance. We know that if we can address that problem, perhaps we can address a lot of these other problems, right? For people. And everybody has these problems. And so we're very focused on tackling this problem. And there is a solution to this problem that nobody is talking about. Nobody really is spreading awareness. If a pharmaceutical company owned the patents on it, well, everybody would be talking about it. But because the patents to this are owned by a cattle rancher who lives in Wyoming, who refuses to sell them to the pharma companies, no one knows about it. And so we want to tell you about it. And we started with a few of us and now have hundreds of us on this call because what we're about to show you works. And I'm going to give you so much proof. And then I want to bring in our other two guests, Alexis and Yvette. Okay. We're going to go quickly. We're going to finish in 10 minutes. So this solution is something that has more than 20 clinical studies on it. If you're skeptical or if you're a doctor who is skeptical, you can look it up in the PDR and you will no longer be skeptical. It is now HSA qualified. It is FSA qualified. It is drug-free. It is safe. It is a nutraceutical. In fact, do me a favor, all of you that are in the medical community, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a surgeon, if you're somebody who works in the medical community, if you're a dietitian or a nutritionist, would you put medical in the chat? I want you all to see how many wonderful medical professionals are all about this. This is going to change the world. Okay. So this protocol is not only safe and natural, it is also guaranteed to work for anybody that uses it. It's very affordable. It costs $5 a day, which is what many people spend on their morning cup of coffee at Starbucks, right? It is also extremely simple. So one of them is something that you sip whenever you're not eating, and the other is something you have before your meals. When you're fasting and you sip the Unimate, it makes me forget that I'm fasting. It makes food noise disappear. It naturally increases GLP-1 and it makes fasting super easy. So whenever I'm taking a break from food, it's easy with the Unimate. The balance, when you have this before a meal, it is focused on controlling blood sugar, insulin, triglycerides, cholesterol. It is extremely satiating. And so if you struggle with overeating like I do, it's very good at preventing that. And most people living without the protocol are spiking their blood sugar and insulin all day. And this leads to fat storage and damage throughout their body. What we're doing on the protocol is we're simply focused on controlling that blood sugar and that insulin. By controlling the insulin, we can start to address the insulin resistance, right? And when you do that, just like Eva shared, the fat burning and the relief of damage, she said not only is she lighter, 64 pounds in 7 months, but she's also feeling so good. And that's because of the relief that comes from that bathing in insulin, right? Now, there are a lot of treatment options out there. And, a lot of people would say, well, my doctor told me to do all of this. And clearly we have a lot of people, thank you, that put medical in the chat. We have a lot of doctors that actually are talking about this solution now. And I hope that more will, right? But all of these solutions have side effects. All of them are expensive, especially long-term. And none of them are even guaranteed to actually solve the root problem, right? Whereas this is guaranteed, it is natural, and there aren't any side, and it's much less expensive, right? So I want to bring in two more guests, and real fast before we have a pretty cool offer that we want you to be able to take advantage of if you haven't ever tried this protocol. Okay, Dawn Phenomena. We got a question about Dawn Phenomena. I want to bring in two people. So first, I'm going to bring in Alexis. Alexis, we've got like 2 minutes. Would you mind? And I know you're in Hawaii right now. Would you mind just sharing with everybody? You have been on this protocol for how long, and what's your story?
Hello. Okay, I'm Alexis. Like Trent said, I live in Utah. I have 3 little boys, and I live there with my husband. And about 6 or 7 months ago, I was in a pretty rough way. I was postpartum. I was extremely exhausted. I was taking naps every single day. I was guzzling Diet Coke and energy drinks like it wasn't no thing. I had so much brain fog. I felt like I was really short and snippy with my kids and with my husband. And I just felt like I was in a really bad way. And I felt like the things that I did beforehand to lose weight or to feel better weren't really working anymore. And so I decided to hire a personal trainer, and he was great. He had me do this meal plan. It had 6 or 7 meals a day, which is kind of what I had been taught, right? I had to keep eating all day long so I could keep my metabolism up. And I was doing that. I was working out, and I still just felt stuck and nothing was working. And I was like, maybe I'm getting older. Maybe this is just how it is now. And then I stumbled onto this protocol, call it divine intervention or God or whatever you want to say. Um, and I had tried other things. I tried metabolism boosters in the past, and nothing felt like this. This was the missing puzzle piece, I felt like. Um, and I wasn't a big faster. I had fasted a little bit for religious reasons, but I was not a big faster. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to go even a couple hours without food, right? I was like queen of snacking. And anyways, this just made it so much easier. Like Trent said, that the Unimate like eliminated the food noise for me. I stopped drinking energy drinks. I remember the first week, all of a sudden, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a Diet Coke in a week, which was unheard of for me. Usually I'm going through the drive-through a couple times a day. And I remember also going to a gas station on a road trip and going into the gas station and just kind of walking around. And I walked out of there and my husband was like, are you okay? That's the first time you've ever not left the gas station without a bag of treats. Usually I'm getting all sorts of things and candy and snacks and the salty and the sweet. Um, my I within probably the first couple weeks, I would say my brain fog was gone, my migraines were gone. I didn't need any more naps to make it through the day. Um, and I feel like kind of the biggest thing was I feel guilt. I feel guilt all the time. I feel guilt with food. I feel a ton of mom guilt. Um, and with this, I feel like it took away my guilt. I no longer feel guilt with food. I feel like I can eat the things that I want to eat. I just know that I need to take my fiber first, or even being on vacation right now, I feel like I can still eat whatever I want. I'm not constantly feeling like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't do that, or I feel crappy because of that. Um, but the biggest thing is the mom guilt. Like when I would get my little boys around me and I would lay down and be like, okay, I got to take a nap. And I would turn them on a show and I'm trying to get this 15-minute nap in just so I feel like I can function. That was so hard for me. And I would feel so guilty. I couldn't even ever sleep about it because I'd feel guilty. And I feel like that's been everything to me. I feel like a better mom with that guilt lifted. I feel like I can take care of my kids way better than I could have before. And my husband started doing it as well. He was very skeptical at the beginning. And then he saw some results and he's like, okay, I got to get on this. He was feeling stuck as well. And his A1C went from 5.8 down to 5.1. He went from weighing 240 pounds down to 208 pounds. His kidney and liver function is way better. His testosterone went from 554 up to 765, which was awesome. And I was talking to him about it a little bit before this phone call. And one of the biggest things is we just feel like we feel better. We feel better in our relationship because we have more confidence. I feel better about myself. He feels better about himself. And because of that, we're able to have a better relationship. Our intimacy is better. We're more open with each other. We feel like we're better parents. We're not as snippy with each other, and that's a really big deal. And so I'm very grateful for the protocol because of that. And it's something that you don't want to keep to yourself. You want to share it because once you start getting a glimpse of what it can do, you're like, I got to tell everyone. My dad is pre-diabetic. He's on the protocol having amazing results. My sister has PCOS. My mom is going through menopause right now, and it's helping all of us, which is awesome.
I love it. I'm going to show Alexis allowed me to also share a photo. And Alexis, thanks so much. I love I love your story. I really, really am so grateful that you would come on here and share it because it is so powerful. And I actually hope we can get more and more young people, young couples, young families doing this because it has been a game changer for me and my wife. So this is Alexis, and remind me your husband's name. Is it Matt?
Matt. Hmm.
Alexis and Matt before. Cute kids,
We
cute.
thought we were looking good too in that picture. We were like, wow, we're looking good.
And this is you guys now. And
Hmm.
there's actually a really nice before and after there that is just incredible. So congratulations, Alexis and Matt, and to your mom and your dad and everybody. Thanks for being a part of this, Alexis. We really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
So amazing, amazing. Okay, we have another guest that we're going to bring on in just a moment who is absolutely a superstar when it comes to metabolic health, when it comes to insulin resistance. This is somebody that has tens of thousands of followers, actually hundreds of thousands of followers on social media because she's such a gifted teacher. She has been teaching people how to get off of meds, how to stay out of the ER. And this is a nurse and a diabetes educator from Huntsville, Alabama. And her name is Yvette Oxford. And I asked Yvette if she would come on tonight's call as somebody who has now turned, I think, thousands of people, if I'm not mistaken, onto this
Yes.
protocol. Yvette, as a nurse, as a diabetes educator, maybe talk to us about why are you so excited about this and why are you telling everybody to do it?
Well, I guess if you go from pulling meds in the Pyxis, I think most of my patients, I had a patient that had 18 meds before 9 a.m., right? So you go from pulling meds, then I was a sales rep. So I was giving meds, selling meds, diabetes educator for pump and CGMs, all the way full circle from, can y'all hear me? Sorry.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So going from giving meds, selling meds, putting type 2s on an insulin pump that are possibly blind, I've come full circle. Because if you really look at the sad Sam, the standard American diet, the standard American diseases, and the standard American meds, we just laughed at frequent flyers. Oh, here comes Trent again. He's back again. See you in 3 months. Because the saddest part of that is we're talking about my mom. We're talking about my dad. You know, my dad was that patient. All they're doing is getting caught in that medical inertia, and it's only getting worse. So, hope and empathy is what we're doing in Huntsville. Giving people hope, and not empathy, excuse me, empowerment. I'm empowering my patients to understand their disease process and giving them hope that if they follow a protocol, mine is time restricted eating, therapeutic carb reduction or omission, muscle training, and the Feel Great system. It's 4 ways that a patient can take back their control. Working with their doctor, obviously, to talk about the fasting protocol, to talk about the therapeutic and carb reduction. But what we do is we empower our customers' patients to ask the right questions. How can I empower Trent Tuller to walk up to his doctor and say, why am I on insulin? I'm type 2. Why am I morbidly obese and you keep giving me insulin? So I'm trying to teach my patients to take back control of their bodies like the 2 guests have tonight. Because something that we learned at my event in Huntsville this weekend, that hope is here and empowerment is here. Stop outsourcing your health to someone that doesn't have time to care. Doctors don't have time to care. Not all doctors, but that is something we're doing in Huntsville. Ask the right questions, follow the right protocol, and maybe stop the train to type 2. Does that make sense?
And Yvette, as somebody that's put like hundreds, thousands of people on this protocol now, people that were sick, many of them on meds, many of them are now off meds, many of them are unsick. What are you seeing from the people you've referred to this?
So my mom, we were at the lakefront. I'm down in New Orleans area today. She's at the lakefront, and my sister turned the camera and said, Mom, what do you do with your freedom? She said, anything I want. So instead of going by the little white calendar, 1 med, 2 med, pharmacy, doctors this, she just decides whatever that she wants to do. And that empowerment, because people have a fear that if they ask their doctor NPPA a question, that they're going to get fired. And if they get fired, I just got a text from a girl right now. Her doctor says you don't eat enough carbs. She's type 2. Learn that you do have an answer, and it's Ben Bickman, Ellie Drews, Jason Fung, Lindsay Van. There are people that I've studied for the last 10 years that have told me to stop doing the sad Sam way. Do it your own way. Figure out why you have high blood sugar, why you have skin tags. I guarantee you, after every one of my lives, people get in the mirror and they start checking out their skin tags. Know what to look for. The signs are there. We ignore them. A man bob at Saturday Night Live is great. It's a man gut, but it's really dangerous. So I hope in this company, Rexall Drugs, Eradicate Heart Disease, we're doing the right thing every day. So, sorry.
Love it, Yvette. Thank you so much.
So,
Guys, Yvette is, first off, Yvette, there's a lot of people in the chat that are giving you a lot of love because their
nice.
friends
Thank
and
you.
family members were actually people that you have helped. One person said she saved I didn't see it, but I think this woman saved my sister's life or something like this. Woman saved my sister's life. If she didn't find Yvette, she would be in and out of pharmacy for medication. She is now
Well, when you bury your father, I literally sat and watched him take his last breath. He would sit at this table and take all his standard American meds like a good boy, and no one ever said to him, let's back up 10 years. You reverse the process that got you here, but no one will. You cannot make money scheduling fasting. You can't make money scheduling muscle training. You can't make money telling someone to restrict carbs. You cannot profit over someone's ignorance. You can't. So anyway, I hope that helps. Ask the right questions. If you follow us on all of our social media, I have 7 questions I have people ask their doctors, and it blows their mind what their doctors say. So
I love it.
anyway,
Thanks so much, Yvette Oxford. Yvette, maybe drop your handle
thank you.
if people want to find you and follow those 7 questions. That's awesome. Okay, we want to finish this call, but we want to do something really cool because I said that we were going to give you a bunch of proof for all of you that are new, for anybody that's not on the bandwagon yet, for anybody that's still skeptical, for anybody that likes more proof. We want to give you a bunch of proof. So I'm going to do that and we'll wrap up the call with this. And this should be pretty cool. But here's what you need to know. Okay. So real fast, before I go into this proof session, here's something that you really need to know. So this protocol is HSA qualified, FSA qualified. It is guaranteed to work. So everybody that orders it gets a 90-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. I mean, why not, right? It's either going to work for you or you can just get a refund. Why not? It is normally $235 per month. But with whoever invites you to the protocol, they will have a discount link. So whoever invited you to this call will have a discount link, okay? And that makes it $159 per month. That's about $5 per day. And you lock in this pricing for life. So you want to ask whoever invited you, say, hey, will you send me the link? Just send them a text. Say, send me the link. I want to look at the link. And that link will give you the discounted price. And guess what? As soon as you order it, you get the same discount link that you can share with anybody else who wants to order it. If you share your discount link, you will get a $10 credit every time they order or reorder. So it's just that simple. If you want to order it and your spouse wants to order it, you order it, then send your link to your spouse. You'll both get the discount and yours will be $10 off every month, right? Refer another person, now it's $20 off, right? So it's a great pay it forward program. And why not try something that's guaranteed to work? Now, I said we were going to give you a bunch of proof, and I could go through studies, clinical studies, until I'm blue in the face. But the most powerful form of proof is third-party proof. So I want to ask anybody that's on this call, there's 400 plus people on the live call, thousands more that will watch the restream and the recording. If you or somebody in your household has personally been using this protocol, and if you have noticed measurable results, okay, I don't want you to exaggerate. The truth is enough. If you have experienced measurable results, if you'd put a sentence or 2 in the chat, which many of you already have, I want to read a couple of these as we close the call so that you, especially the new people, can see what this is about. So Jeff Lanham has written, A1C has gone from a 9.4 to a 5.4 in 5 months. Neuropathy gone. High blood pressure gone. 74 pounds gone. Thank you, Jeff. Renee Peterson, 1.5 years, down over 80 pounds, off medications at 50. Better energy and sleep, vertigo and inflammation gone. Thank you, Renee. Here's a bunch more. I'm going to go rapid fire. John Bracefield, 5.5 months, 70 pounds gone. Ozempic, insulin, Jardiance, all gone. My A1C went from a 10 to a 6.6. Misty Zimmerman says, 62 pounds are gone. I've maintained that loss for over a year now. I'm no longer taking medications I took for 30 years. Neuropathy gone. Restless leg syndrome gone. Eyesight is improved. Skin and hair much healthier. Chronic joint pain gone. Brittany Held, I've reversed my type 2 diabetes and high cholesterol. Gout pain is gone. Anxiety and brain fog gone. Off all meds, lost 45 pounds, down 4 pound sizes. A1C went from a 6.6 to a 4.6. Incredible. Dr. Kenny says down 50 pounds, sleep apnea gone, high blood pressure gone, neuropathy gone. Wife reversed PCOS over 20 years in 2 months. She's down 12 pounds. Mom is 78. Kidney function has doubled, down 2 pant sizes. Daughter has doubled test scores. Laurie Gatto says down 33 pounds, no high blood pressure, no pre-diabetic, no plantar fasciitis, no migraines, menopause symptoms are gone. My husband is down 30 pounds. He's off his statins. My son is down 25 pounds. Kristen Conley, reverse type 2, inflammation gone, off all meds, down 45 pounds, more energy, sleeping better. Heath Chapman says, I've lost 41 pounds. I've reversed my type 2 diabetes. My A1C went from a 6.8 to a 5.3. My triglycerides lowered by 330 points in 4 months. There are 46 additional messages that I do not have time to read. We want to wrap up the call. If you wanted proof, there's the proof. It's in the chat. If you are struggling, if somebody that you love is struggling with their metabolic health, get them on this protocol. Why not? What if what has happened for all you wonderful people that are here in the chat could happen for others? What if those people were able to have the same results that you've had? What else might happen in their lives if they're able to do that? I mean, you heard Alexis talk about mom guilt, right? What else might happen? And why not try something that is natural, safe, affordable, and guaranteed to work? So we believe in this protocol. We are spreading the message about this protocol. We want you to spread the message about this protocol. And so if somebody you love or care about is struggling with their metabolic health, invite them to this call next week and they will thank you later. Look at the experiences of those of you that are on this protocol and living it. It is incredible. And so if you're still waiting, I would just reach out to whoever invited you and say, send me the link, send me the link, send me the link. I want to see, I want to get started. I want to lock in the discount pricing and benefit. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you being on this call.